Hello, this is the string guy here. I've been a little while since I did a review on anything. Today I'm doing a mini review of my recently purchased, well, it's been a couple months, Martin Dreadnought Jr. Um, I had been saving up for a Dreadnought Jr. for quite some time. And well, let me go back up a second. The reason why I wanted a Dreadnought Jr. was I like playing short scale guitars. My recording King Parlor guitar that I did a review on before, that's a short scale 24.2 inch. For the longest time, from when they first started making them, these things were a 24 inch from scale. And I was saving up to buy a brand new one. And and I was getting close to having the money to buy a brand new one. Then all of a sudden, and then I saw the articles. Martin changed the Dreadnought Junior series. They increased them from 24 to 24.75, which is, if you're in the Gibson world, that's normal for most of the Gibsons. Gibsons has some that are 25 plus, but if you're talking like a J45 or a Hummingbird, that's been the distance, the scale length for years. So in the Gibson, 24 3/4. And not that that's terrible, but I really wanted the 24. And at the time, it was so new coming out. Probably if I would have searched high and low, contacted places, somebody probably still would have had in stock one of the 24-inch ones. But I thought trying to trying to get across to them that I want a 24-inch and hunt throughout would have been too much hassle. So I started looking for used ones. And lo and behold, I found one on Facebook Marketplace that was a little more than I wanted to spend, but well, it was a little more money because this one came with the pickup in it, and it which I didn't care about a pickup. I would have bought one without the pickup, um, simply because I don't care for piezo pickups. Not that you can't get ones that sound good, but they don't sound exactly like that guitar sounds. You're not getting all the effects of the different woods and the size and shape of the guitar. I prefer to put a microphone out, a foot out if I need amplification. I normally play in small venues where I don't need amplification. But if I do, it's with a microphone out, a foot or two out, aimed at that. So that way it's picking up what that guitar truly sounds like. Like I said, you can get good stuff. In fact, when I bought this, a lady was selling it. She was selling it because she had several other Martins, and she thought maybe she wanted a travel guitar, but she said, yeah, she rarely traveled, and so she decided it was just an extra guitar taking up room, and she decided she had too many guitars and something had to go, and so this was what was going. And this is a 2023, so it's only 2 years old, but so and it's in excellent condition. There's not a flaw on this thing. And it did come with a pickup. She just let I try it with the pickup. And it sounded good with the pickup, but it's not exactly the same sounds you hear coming out of here. So I could care less if it had a pickup. I'm not. The only way I would want to pick up in an acoustic guitar is if it was not a piezo, but one of those where they put the little microphones that are inside. I think LR Bags makes them, and a couple other companies make them, where those are put inside. That would be, because then you get more of the acoustic sound, not what the piezo is doing, and you're getting all the nuances of that particular guitar and what makes it special. That'd be the only other way I'd be interested in having uh, amplification on my guitars. Now, that's just my personal preference. You might feel otherwise, but that's just for me. But that being said, so I bought it used, but I'll tell you what, if a guitar store would have, if she'd have traded in a guitar store, they could have sold it as new. No one would have been able to tell, other than if they ran the serial number and saw that was the age on it. But this, these things are great. Yeah, they came with the Sitka uh, spruce top. The back and sides are sapele, and it's all solid wood. It's an all solid wood Martin. It's made in Mexico. The junior series, all of them are made in Mexico, and I'm not saying there'd be anything wrong with the 24 7 and 3 24.75, but I wanted a 24 inch. Now, having said that, I may eventually buy I like the triple OC Junior. It's a triple O size or shape with a cutout. I still wouldn't mind getting one of those. Now, I might buy one of those new someday with the longer scale length. But in one regard, this is a little bit bigger than my Recording King. It's 2/10 of an inch shorter than my Recording King, but this is in true to Martin tradition. This is 1.75 inch and 3/4 width. No, where my parlor guitar is 1.11 inches. And you're thinking that's only a 1/16 of an inch. Trust me, your fingers could tell the difference. Not that it was unwieldy difference, but you could tell it. But it wasn't. But the fact it still has the short scale length, it's definitely not unreachable. And it just took a little adjusting compared to playing my parlor guitar. Just took a little bit of adjusting. But I'm really enjoying this thing because the other reason why I wanted to get something other than my parlor sounds nice. I'll put it this way. It sounds nice, but it doesn't sound great. And it definitely doesn't have much bass to it. And I had seen some reviews of the Dreadnought Junior, and they said somehow it has that Martin sound. So I went over and tried it out. I had never played a Dreadnought Junior. I had it before. I'd only ever seen them on there. Well, 5 minutes of playing it at the lady's house, I said, "Yep, I want it," because it just has that. It's not as big as biggest sound as a regular Martin, but you get that nice big sound. You get that nice sound from that nice Martin sound. So anyways, to give you a little idea of the sound, it just has a richer sound than I had with my Recording King. Now, but my Recording King I could buy two of those parlor guitars for what I paid for this thing used, and new. I could have bought 3 of those parlor guitars and a case for each for the same money. But it just had sound, and I wanted to buy a Martin. I seemed to be on a Martin roll. I got this made in Mexico Martin. And let me tell you, the main Martin guitars are mostly the main Mexico ones. They definitely don't do their high appointment ones there because no one would pay high money for a guitar made in Mexico. But quality-wise, they use the same tooling. They use the materials. You know, they make the X series there. They make the Road series. I'll tell you what, for the money, the Road series, if I was a traveling musician, I would buy a Road series Martin rather than made Nazareth, just because I wouldn't want to, because you're going to get close to the same quality sound, but at a fraction of price. And if something happened in the traveling, the road, you're less money in it. The road series just doesn't have the fancy appointments, but you get the all solid one. The X, they save the money by using HPL. And the other place they save money, obviously lower cost labor, but they've trained the people from Nazareth travel down there each month to make sure they're still building to their specs. And, and all the juniors are made in Mexico, keep the cost down on the juniors, and the backpackers made there, and I think the little Martin is made there. But let me tell you, don't ever look down on a made Mexico Martin. They're quality guitars. Just that's how they keep the cost down. That's so Martin can have mid-range price guitars. They don't. Martin doesn't compete on the low end. The low end's for other players, but they do definitely compete on the mid-price market with their made Mexico line. Their made Mexico line will match anybody else's at the same dollar level. The Martin is playing just as good at the same dollar level as anybody else. So the only other one guitar in this size I had thought about was a Taylor. But I live in Pennsylvania. You don't find as many Taylors in Pennsylvania as you do Martins. I mean, not that people don't like Taylor. I mean, Taylors are a California guitar, but Martin factory is in Pennsylvania. So people in Pennsylvania want Martins, so you find a lot more used Martins in Pennsylvania than you do in other areas because, that's the thing in this area. So, but I did recently purchase a used made in Pennsylvania Martin, which I will do another video at another time. I just recently purchased that. But let me tell you, these Dreadnought Junior, all solid wood. All solid wood. And even if you buy them new, they're still very reasonably priced. You still can buy one, I think for like $600 is the low end. $600 to $800 depending on which one you get. But you're getting a lot of guitar for your money. And even though it's kind of small, it's still got the same. It's got that Martin. Somehow they managed to get that Martin sound. And I'll tell you what, I looked it over. You looked inside, tidy. I mean, this guitar, I have to say, is virtually flawless when I look at it and its construction. It's a well-made guitar. And if you're saying, hey, I want a smaller guitar, especially if you get older and your hands don't want to spread like they do. Because the other thing is it doesn't have a chunky neck. It's got a nice slim neck. This thing plays great, and it's all solid wood. So, like Chris Martin used to say, the worst day a Martin guitar will sound is the day you get it brand new, and it will just get better and better. So, and one advantage of it was already 8 years old, it's going to start sounding better as with time goes on, So, I mean, for me, this guitar is a forever guitar for me. I mean, I'll keep this till I'm gone. This plays so good now, and I'm getting used to the neck width. I'm really, really enjoying playing this guitar. I probably, because people have asked me, are you going to get rid of your Recording King? No, I'll tell you why. I still take that places where one of the places I play is in a children's junior church at my church. We got a lot of elementary 4th, 5th, and 6th graders in there. And you never know when one of them's going to, because I lead music in there, and you never know when something's going to grab it and do something stupid. Well, I'd rather have that happen to that Recording King because it was a lot less money than this. I would probably cry a little bit if this one got damaged. So for there, I will always keep it for that. Or like if I'm going to go somewhere outdoors or camping or something like that, I would probably take that someplace where I thought there was a chance where it could inadvertently get damaged. Then I would take that. This one will. Now I've taken this now several times over when I go over to the cerebral palsy home to play there each week. I've taken this now, but there it's a little more controlled environment, and I don't have to worry about it getting damaged. But it's very lightweight, easy to carry. Came with a really nice Martin gig bag it really came with a nice, sturdy gig bag. It says Martin on it, and it has nice pockets on it and got straps to carry it. So I tell you what, even though they're now 24 and 3/4, I still think I'd probably recommend it. I just wanted to get a 24 to be sure. And if I play a 24 and 3/4 and I like it, like I said, I still want to get the 000C Junior. I just like some short scale. I just like short scale guitars. But, anyways, I just wanted to let you know if you see a Dreadnought Junior, if you're like me and you were looking for a smaller guitar, and you want something that has great sound, this thing has beautiful sound. I have not played the Taylor GS Mini, so I can't say how that would compare. There's been some reviews I've seen people say they like it, but if you want the Martin sound but need something a little smaller and a little easier in their pocketbook, check out the Dreadnought Junior. And okay, thank you very much. Have a wonderful, blessed day. See you later.